Welcome to episode 59 of Norse Myths, Legends, and Folktales. My name is MyLinda, Butterworth, and today we learn how greed of the cursed gold turns one into a dragon, and how a sword won by Sigmund causes great jealousy from Siggeir in part 2 of the Doom of the Volsungs. Then Fafner rose and demanded the entire treasure for himself. He fought with his sire, to whom he gave his death wound. Ere he died, Rerir besought his daughters to avenge him. But one, who was named Signy, said that a sister could slay not her brother, whereat her sire foretold that she would have a daughter whose son would be his strong avenger. Fafner drave forth his sister and his brother Regin, and possessed himself of all the treasure. Heavily indeed did the curse fall upon him, and there was never again any joy in his heart. He went unto a lonely place which was called Glittering Heath, to be guardian of his ill-gotten gold, and he brooded over it there with anger and suspicion, until he became a wingless dragon which was feared and hated by all men. Regin was thus made poor, and he went to a king whose wondersmith he became. He shaped strong weapons and many ornaments of gold and silver, for which he received great praise and royal honors. But in his heart he grieved because he had been robbed by his brother of his just share of the treasure. Great was his desire that the dragon should be slain, so that he himself might become possessed of the wealth. But many years passed ere the avenger had birth, as Rerir had foretold, and Fafner was killed. The avenger was Siggeir, and his sire was Sigmund, son of the Volsung. Noble was he, and of great strength and battle power, like all his kin. Bright, too, were his days, until the curse of the treasure fell upon him. Now the sire of Volsung was Rerir, who was the son of Siggeir. The sire of Siggeir was Odin. It chanced that Siggeir went forth to hunt in winter time through a snow-wreathed forest. With him went Breda, who was a servant to Siggeir, and was skillful in the chase. At the day's end, Siggeir was enraged because Breda had taken more game than him. So he slew the man and concealed his body in a snow wreath. But the crime was discovered, and Siggeir was banished from the land of his folk. Then did Odin come to his son's aid, and gave him war vessels and a force of brave war men. Many victories were won by Siggeir. His fame in battle was spread far and near, and he conquered and ruled the land of the Huns. He achieved great glory in his prime, but his life's end was clouded by dissensions in the kingdom. Even the queen's brother conspired against him. Then a great battle was fought, and Siggeir was slain. His son Rerir reigned after him. His kinsmen he slew, and put their army to flight. Thus did he avenge the death of his sire. Rerir became a greater monarch than Siggeir. He took for wife a noble lady, but as the years went on, they fell to mourning because that no child was born to them. So they prayed to the gods, and Freya heard them with compassion. Then was one of her maids, who was a daughter of the giant Rerir, sent to the earth in crow guise, bearing an apple for the queen. Thus was the queen's desire fulfilled, but soon afterwards the king sickened and died. The child was not born until he was 7 years old, and he was named Volsung. Now Volsung became the most powerful king of his time. He was far famed as a warrior, and he ruled his people justly and well. A great house did he cause to be built. In the midst of it grew a mighty oak, which was named Branstock, and its branches overhung the roof. It was told that Volsung had for wife the giant's daughter, Yuld, whom gentle Freya had sent with the magic apple to his queen mother. They had 2 sons and 1 daughter. and the firstborn was named Sigmund, and his twin sister Signy. The lad was as strong and brave as the girl was comely and fair. At that time Siggeir was king of the Gauts, and he sought to have Signy for his bride. So it came that they were wed in Volsung's hall. A great feast was given, and the warriors of the Gauts were there, and they made merry with Volsung's nobles and his 2 sons. When the feast was over, a tall, old man entered the hall. He wore a blue cloak, mottled with gray, a round hat which was drawn down over his face, and tight breeches of linen. He had but one eye, and his feet were bare. In his hand he carried a gleaming sword, and he plunged it into Branstock right up to the hilt. None spoke, but they all watched with mute amaze. Then he spake gravely unto them. I gift this sword, he said, unto the man who can draw it from Branstock. He shall find it a goodly blade indeed, for it hath no equal. Then he vanished from before them. He was Odin, but no man knew him. Now the chief warriors who were there laid hands one after the other upon the sword, but in vain did they endeavor to draw it forth. It stuck deep in the tree, defying them as it tempted them. But at length Sigmund grasped the hilt in his strong right hand, and pulled out the blade which he thus had for himself as a gift from Odin. Ill pleased was King Siggeir, for he sought greatly to possess the shining blade for himself, and he made offer to purchase it with much treasure. But Sigmund refused to deliver it, even though the king of the Gauts gave unto him all the gold he possessed. Siggeir answered not. He sat moodily apart, for he deemed that the young warrior had spoken scornfully. With anger in his heart, he devised a treacherous scheme with purpose to gain his desire and to wreak vengeance upon the kinsfolk of his queen. So next morning he made ready to depart, although the wedding celebrations were not ended. And he invited Volsung and his sons to visit him after the space of 3 months. Volsung gave his word to do so, and took leave of Siggeir and Signy. Unwillingly indeed was the fair bride to leave the land of her people, and she would have parted with her husband had her father permitted her. When 3 moons had waxed and waned, Volsung and his sons and their followers voyaged in 3 ships to Goutland. Fair winds favored them, and they made speedy passage, and on a fragrant evening they reached a haven and went ashore. Then came Signy to them in secret to persuade them to return, because that her husband had collected together a great army to accomplish their fall. But Volsung disdained to go back. 100 battles I have fought, he said, and I was ever victorious. In my youth I feared not my foemen, and in my old age I shall not flee before them. A man may die but once, and he can escape not death at his appointed time. So we shall fare onward, nor fear aught, and no man shall tell that Volsung ever fled from danger or sued for peace. Signy desired to remain with her kin, but Volsung bade her return to Siggeir and stay with him. Next morning brave Volsung and his 2 sons, with all their followers, went fully armed towards the hall of Siggeir. But a strong force came out against them, and after fierce and long fighting, Volsung was slain with all his followers, and his 2 sons were taken captive. Siggeir then became possessed of Sigmund's sword, which was named Gram. Earnestly did Signy entreat that her brother should not be put to death. And though the cruel Gout king relented somewhat, he caused them to be bound together to a felled tree in a deep forest. In the midst of the night a fierce she-wolf came and devoured one of them. Secret messengers bore the sad tidings unto Signy, and she grieved piteously. On the 2nd night another son of Volsung was devoured, and so night after night one perished by the wolf, until Sigmund alone remained alive. Then Signy sent her messengers to smear Sigmund's body with honey, and they did according to her desire. In the darkness of the night, the wolf came to devour him, but when the monster smelled the sweet savor, she began to lick the young hero's face. At length she thrust her tongue into his mouth, and Sigmund seized it between his teeth and bit it off. As he struggled, he burst his fetters, and the monster was slain. Now the wolf was none other than King Siggeir's mother, who was skilled in witchcraft and had power to change her shape. Sigmund found a safe retreat in the wood, where he made for himself a subterranean dwelling. In time, Signy came to know that it fared well with him, but Siggeir knew not that Sigmund remained alive and awaited the hour of vengeance. And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales. Many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey.